Hi everyone, Cujo here. It's been a while, I know. So basically I've been doing my instrument training for the past, I don't know, 9 months or so. 8-9 months. It's been a long ordeal between work and weather and availability of instructors and planes and everything else. But done about a month ago. I passed my exam, so I am now an instrument rated pilot. So it's very exciting. And that's why I wasn't making a lot of videos, at least for the past year or so. I was very wrapped up in that and everything else in life. But good news is, that's done. Been flying the club planes again, trying to get used to their power settings and how they handle the approaches. And also in the process of buying a hangar, so that's exciting. Which means also I am in the market for an aircraft of my own, which it's a crazy market right now, so trying to work my way through that. But anyway, until then, flying the club planes, and I thought that I was going up today with the Archer to get some of the power settings for approaches and things down from plane. You'll always do that. You should always do that for your instrument approach work. And in the meantime, I thought I might as well video it. And I know that when I was looking to do my training, I was wondering what can I do to prepare for instrument training before I go pay an instructor and start putting down the big dollars. And I read some things about it, and I don't think I fully understood it, and maybe people just won't until they actually dive into it and start doing approaches. But I figured I would take you guys up with me and go through getting to know power settings for the plane, for the different phases of the approach, and maybe do a little Bravo pattern, Alpha Bravo pattern work, and kind of talk you through that stuff. And it's just stuff that's getting control of the plane while referring to instruments. I'm just not going to put a hood on today because it's just me, but I'll go through the motions. If you guys want to, or if you're going to start your instrument training and want to get a head start, a great way to do it is to just get good, solid control of the airplane, be ahead of the airplane with the hood on, and then the rest is just procedural muscle memory stuff. So let's go flying. It's a great day.
Okay, so here we are. We're flying west from DuPage, just about out from the Bravo shelf. And so like I said, the first thing you have to do, and it's what I'm doing on this plane because it's the first time I've flown it since I got my instrument, is you have to get a good feel for your power settings and basically your approach settings, okay? Because the more you can get set up ahead of time and be ahead of the plane, the better off you're going to be flying single pilot IFR, and that's something you learn the hard way when all of this is coming at you during the training. But the first thing, so if you start an instrument program, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to do this. So that's kind of why I was going to demonstrate it, because I have to do it anyway, because like I said, it's the first time flying this plane. I need to get the right power settings. So I've got kind of a cruise setting here. So the first thing, the first power setting to be aware of is the cruise power setting. That's where you're going to be most of the time. So in a simple, this is an Archer, so no constant speed prop or anything, 2,500 RPM or so, a little bit below that, but that's fine. Good cruise power setting. I'm level at about 3,000. And a little bit of a hot, bumpy day, so we'll manage your altitude too. That's something you're going to learn. You got to keep that altitude within 100. So, okay, great. So we got cruise setting. So the next thing you should do is get your descent and your climb profile. Okay. Now another thing I want to point out, you're going to use the attitude indicator a lot in the instrument training. So let's go ahead and look at that. So you see we're about level, which you should be in cruise. Okay. So let's get ready for a descent. So let's see, I'm going to guess this is similar to the Archers that I was flying for my instrument training. So I'm going to take this down to about 2,200 RPM, not changing any trim or anything. Okay, 2,200 RPM. Let it settle out. we're descending pretty quick here. That's probably more than what you want to do, so let's go up to 2300. Okay, so it looks like 2300 is going to give me about a 500 foot per minute descent without changing any pitch. So that's good. Okay, so 2300 RPM. You can see I'm maybe 2 degrees down here. I'm going to go ahead and write that down. 2300
Michigan City,
minus 2 degrees. Okay.
14,000 feet.
Well, you're going to need a climb profile too. So on this plane, it's pretty simple. You're going to go full throttle. Okay. And you're probably going to be trimming this thing up to about, if it's like the Warriors, about 7.5 degrees nose up. And you trim this. Okay. Yeah, you know, I don't want to, you could do 7.5. That's going to put you at a pretty steep angle. And for cooling reasons, I may not want to do that, but you could do it, looks like, in this plane. Okay, so I'm going to come back down here. I don't want to really get too much higher than 3,000 right now. Okay. Okay, so sure enough, you know, you could say full throttle and plus 7.5 if you really need to climb. Of course, you could also do a cruise climb at a lower than 7.5 degrees. Okay, so so now let's do some approach power settings. So when you get into the terminal area and you're going to be being vector around, or you're doing you know, various waypoints for the approach, you don't want to be zooming around at cruise speed because you're going to give yourself some time. There's no reason, or in a hold, if you're doing holds, you don't need to be buzzing around at cruise speeds. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pull it back. Again, I'm going to try the Warrior power settings and see how that goes. I'm going to pull it back to about 2200 RPM. I'm going to trim it up.
8026, parachutes in the air, 5,000 feet and below, Michigan City.
And in most small GA planes, unless you really got a hot one, you want about 90 knots of airspeed in the approach. And you'll see it's your category A top speed is 90 knots. So we're going to try and I think we'll be able to get there around this power setting. So let's go ahead and do that.
For 9, Lansing.
Okay, we're just about there. Maybe even a little less power, actually.
I think we have a helicopter going forward, though. About a half south, heading for a north flap. We're going to cross Niner. We're looking for traffic.
Okay, we're trimming up a little bit more.
Lansing traffic, we're 2219 Yankee Road.
I want to give a disclaimer here. You don't want to just plan for setting these power settings and not, you know, really looking at anything, or you know, every time you're going to be, you know, trimming and adjusting power to get to the appropriate speed, right? So this is just like somewhere to start. Starting point.
River East and be overflying the airport, entering downwind.
Okay, so this is looking pretty good. Okay, so here we are. So look at this. So we're, luckily we're looking like we're about, look at that, we got 92 knots.
And Lansing traffic, we're 2219 Yankee Road 919.
We're level, about 3,000. And we got about 2.5, 3 degrees nose up.
For 3-1, still yet.
Funny. Okay, good. So we're at about 2150 on the RPM.
Field at 4,500 count.
So 2150 plus 3. And we've got our 90 knots. Yeah, that's important. That's an important one.
Okay, Cutlass 515.
Okay, so then we're going to need approach setting, or approach descent, okay? And in an approach descent, so you're on the final approach course, you hit the final approach fix, okay? So you need to basically establish your glide slope. So again, we'll try the Warrior settings on this, which were about, we could try 1600 RPM and 1 notch of flaps. Okay? Okay. Here we are, we're settling in. You want that 90 knots still, so that's important.
Planes and traffic Warrior 2219, keep up base 9.
Okay, so we got 500 foot per minute down, so that's about right for a glide slope. They're a little slow though, okay? So what I would say is maybe we need a little bit more power than that.
Well, traffic, 33 in November, left base for 36.
We're at 1700 RPM. This is looking close.
Cushion traffic, 9 vector Papa, taking active runway, back taxi runway to 36. The Cushion traffic.
A little surprised we're not closer to 90 knots with 500 foot glide slope. So we're getting a little bit low, so we better pull up here. Okay, so what we're going to do when we pull up, we're going to go full throttle, and we can do our nose attitude about 7.5. Okay, so I'd like to try that one again. Get back up to 3,000. So here we are. Okay, so we're on approach. Let's try that again. Let's try an approach power setting. Go down, let's try 1700. 1700. Okay, first notch of flaps. Nose down. Okay, there's our 500 feet per minute.
Juno traffic, Cessna 62300 Sierra.
Looks like it's settling in right at about
southeast over flying field at 3000.
-1. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write that one down. 1700. About a -1. About 87 knots. That's pretty good. Okay, so we've got those settings now. We wrote those down. Let's come back to our climb. Okay, we got positive rate.